Hello students. Yesterday we discussed about linear velocity, angular acceleration, and the relation between, the equations for linear velocity and angular velocity. So we discussed that angular velocity omega is equal to rate of change of angular displacement. And we discussed angular acceleration alpha is equal to rate of change of angular velocity. So these concepts we discussed yesterday, right? So these concepts we discussed yesterday. Now today I'm going to derive the relation between linear velocity as well as angular velocity. Okay, so now I'm going to derive the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So linear velocity is represented with the letter V, where linear velocity is taken as V is equal to rate of change of displacement. Clear? So if a body is moving in a straight line path, the velocity acquired by the body is called as linear velocity. And what do you mean by angular velocity? Omega means rate of change of angular displacement. Therefore, if a body is moving in circular motion, then we have the angular velocity omega. Now we are going to find out the relation between linear velocity as well as angular velocity. Okay, now we are going to discuss about linear velocity as well as angular velocity. For example, I will take a body which is moving in a circular motion. I'll consider a body which is moving in a circular motion. Now let us consider this as the body which is moving in circular motion. Clear? Let us consider a body which is moving in a circular motion. Now I'll take a fixed point. So as we already discussed about the circular motion, a body is moving from a fixed point with constant, a body is moving in a plane with a fixed distance from the fixed point. That fixed point is called as origin, and this fixed distance is called as radius. Clear? And that fixed distance is called as what? Radius. Now I'll take this fixed point as origin, which is represented as O, and this fixed distance I will take it as radius, which is taken as, for example, R. Now let us consider a point or a body which is present at point P. Clear? A body which is present at point P. Are you clear? So at point P, if you draw the tangent gives the direction of velocity as we already discussed in the previous class. Now let us imagine the body is moving in anti-clockwise direction like this. So let us imagine the body is moving in anti-clockwise direction like this. Now at the point P, I will draw the tangent. The tangent will be in this direction. Now the tangent will be in this direction. Now tangent to that point will give the direction of velocity. Now tangent to that point will give the direction of velocity. Now let us say after some time delta t, a small interval of time, let us consider the point P moves from P to another point. I will take this point as, for example, Q. Now the body moves from P to Q. Now this distance again I will take it as radius r. Now this distance again I will take it as radius r. Now between point P to Q, it is making some angle. I will take that angle as, for example, delta theta. Clear? I will take that angle as, for example, delta theta, where delta theta is called as angular displacement. Now where delta theta is called as what? Angular displacement. Clear? Well, delta theta is called as what? Angular displacement. Now, if you draw the tangent at point Q, so the tangent at point Q will give this direction. So this is the tangent at point Q. Clear? Let us consider the tangent at point Q. So the tangent at point Q will be in this direction. Are you clear? Now remember, tangent to the uniform circular motion gives the direction of velocity. Now let us consider here the velocity as v1. Let us consider here the velocity as v2. Now PQ, I will consider the PQ distance as, for example, delta s. Now I will take the PQ distance as, for example, delta s. Are you clear? Now for example, let us consider a body is moving in circular motion. Now let us consider a body is moving in circular motion. Clear? Let us consider a body is moving in circular motion with radius r. Now with radius r. Clear? Now let some time delta t, the body moves from point P to point Q in time interval what? No, delta t. For example, let the body moves from, Clear? Let the body moves from P to Q in time delta t. Let the body moves from P to Q in time delta t. Are you clear? Okay. Now from that figure, I can write like this ma arc length. Clear? I can write like this ma arc length AB or PQ is equal to radius into angle. That angle is taken as delta theta. So yesterday we discussed that the angle made by the initial and the final positions of the body is taken as angular displacement. Clear? So the angle between the initial and final positions of a body, that can be taken as what my angular displacement. That angular displacement I will consider as delta theta. Okay. Now I will take that arc length PQ as, for example, delta S, that is equal to radius. I will take it as R into, I will take it as delta theta. I will take it as equation number 1. Now divide this equation number with delta t. Why? Because means it moved from point P to Q in time delta t. Therefore, if you divide this equation with delta t, then delta S by delta t is equal to R into delta theta by delta t. Now let us consider S as the displacement. Then delta S by delta t is taken as linear displacement. Clear? Delta S by delta t is taken as linear displacement, and delta theta by delta t is taken as angular velocity. Clear? Delta theta by delta t is taken as what? Angular velocity. Now if you substitute these two values in the above equation, then you will get delta S by delta t value as V, that is equal to R into delta theta by delta t can be taken as omega. So V is equal to R omega. So this is the relation between V and omega, that is linear velocity and angular velocity. Clear? So this is the relation, clear? This is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Now in vector form, you can write like this also. So in vector form, you can write like this also. V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. Clear? In V bar can be taken as omega bar cross R bar. Clear? So you just write down in vector form. So V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. Therefore, it is the cross product of omega bar and R bar. So which means that if you compare this with the standard equation, that is R bar is equal to A bar cross B bar, then R bar is perpendicular to the plane of A bar and B bar. For example, if you take this as vector A bar and if you take this as vector B bar, now R bar is perpendicular to the plane of vector A bar and B bar. Clear? R bar is perpendicular to the plane of vector A bar and B bar. Therefore, here also we can say that velocity V bar is perpendicular to the plane of omega bar and R bar. Are you clear? Here also you can say that V bar is perpendicular to the plane of omega bar and R bar. Okay. So I hope you understood up to here. Now I will go for the next concept, that is relation between linear acceleration as well as angular acceleration. Okay. Now, the next concept I am going to discuss is relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. Clear? Relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration. Now, for example, we know that the linear acceleration can be taken as rate of change of velocity, linear velocity. So we know that linear acceleration, I will take it as A, that A can be taken as rate of change of linear velocity. I will take it as equation number 1. But just now we discussed that V is equal to R omega. Clear? But just now we discussed that V is equal to R omega. If you substitute B is equal to R omega in the above equation, then acceleration A is equal to d by dt of, I will take it as R omega. Now, in a uniform circular motion, radius remains constant. Clear? In a uniform circular motion, radius remains constant. For example, if in uniform circular motion, radius remains constant, then take radius out of the differentiation, then R into d omega by dt. Now we know that d omega by dt is taken as alpha. So rate of change of angular velocity is taken as what? Angular acceleration, which is represented with the letter alpha. Therefore, A is equal to R into alpha. So this is the relation between linear acceleration as well as angular acceleration. Are you clear? So this is the relation between, linear acceleration and angular acceleration. Yeah. Now, the next concept I'm going to discuss is centripetal acceleration. So the next concept I'm going to discuss is centripetal acceleration. Now, as we already discussed in the previous class, centripetal force will act on a body when the body is moving in uniform circular motion. So if a body is moving in uniform circular motion, then centripetal force acts on it. Are you clear? So when a body is moving in uniform acceleration, then uniform circular motion, then centripetal force acts on it, or centripetal acceleration acts on it. For example, let us consider a body which is moving in a uniform circular motion. Clear? Let us consider a body which is moving in a uniform circular motion like this. Clear? I'll consider this as a body which is moving in a uniform circular motion. Clear? Which is moving in a uniform circular motion. So for this uniform circular motion, we have the center and we have the radius. I'll take this radius as, for example, R. I'll take that center as, for example, O. Clear? I'll take that center as, for example, O. Now, for example, at this point, if you draw the tangent, clear? At this point, if you draw the tangent, now what gives the tangents to the circular motion? Yes, velocity. So velocity gives the direction, or tangent gives the direction of tangent. So tangent gives the direction of velocity at that point. Now at this point P, I will consider the velocity as, for example, V1. Are you clear? At this point, I'll consider the velocity as, for example, V1. Now let us say, after some time, the body moves to another point. I will take this point as, for example, Q. Clear? I will take this point as, for example, Q. Now at the point Q, if you draw the tangent will be in this direction. I will take the velocity here as V2. Clear? I will take the velocity here as V2. Okay. Now let us consider the angle made by these positions with the center, or subtended by the center. I will consider as delta theta. Clear? I will consider this as what? Delta theta. Are you clear? Now remember, let us consider if the body is moving in uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, speed of the body remains constant. Whereas at point to point, the direction of tangent changes, therefore velocity changes. Whereas at point to point, the direction of tangent changes, therefore velocity changes, but speed of the body remains constant. Are you clear? So therefore, in uniform circular motion, the speed of the body remains constant, and always there will be change in the direction, therefore velocity changes. Are you clear? Understood, ma? Therefore, there is a change in the velocity. This change in the velocity produces what? Acceleration. Ma, this change in the velocity produces what? Ma? Acceleration. Therefore, you can say that it is an accelerated motion. So we can say that even though here the speed is constant, even though here speed is constant or magnitude of velocity is constant, speed is constant means we can say that magnitude of velocity is constant. Clear? Magnitude of velocity is constant. Clear? So even though here the magnitude of velocity is constant, still we can say that acceleration is present. Why? Because means here at the point to point, the direction of tangent changes. The direction of tangent gives velocity. So if the velocity changes means obviously there exists what? Acceleration. Therefore, even though it is moving in uniform circular motion, still we have acceleration. Still we have acceleration. That acceleration is called as centripetal acceleration, as this centripetal acceleration direction is always towards the center along the radius. Clear? Along the radius. Therefore, if you take centripetal acceleration, this centripetal acceleration is always towards the center along the radius. Clear? Along the radius. Therefore, it is along the radius, this velocity, so this acceleration or velocity is along the radius. Therefore, this is also called as a centripetal acceleration, or it is along the radius, right? Therefore, this is also called as radial acceleration. Are you clear, ma? So this is also called as what? Radial acceleration. Are you clear? So I'm going to write that point. Ma. What is that means? In uniform circular motion, clear, in uniform circular motion, the speed of the body remains same. The speed of the body remains same or constant. Are you clear? But the velocity changes continuously. Why? Because tangent drawn to the circular motion gives what? Velocity. But the tangent drawn to the motion changes. So tangent gives what? Direction of velocity. Therefore, the velocity of the body changes. The velocity of the body changes continuously. So if the velocity of the body is changing continuously, the change of velocity of the body with respect to time is called as acceleration. Are you clear? So therefore we can say that hence it is an accelerated motion. Clear? Hence it is an accelerated motion. Why? Because the rate of change of velocity is nothing but acceleration. Therefore it can be taken as, hence it is taken as accelerated motion. Now this acceleration is called as centripetal acceleration. Now this acceleration is called as, clear, this acceleration is called as, clear, this acceleration is called as centripetal acceleration. Clear, this acceleration is called as what? Centripetal acceleration. Now remember, this centripetal acceleration is always towards the center along the radius vector or along the radius. Therefore, this is also called as radial acceleration. Clear? Therefore, this is also called as what? Radial acceleration. Are you clear? Understood? So I am writing this point. The direction of centripetal acceleration, Clear? The direction of centripetal acceleration is what? Is towards the center. Clear? Is towards the center of the circular motion, or towards the center along the radius. Clear? Is towards the center along the radius. Therefore, centripetal acceleration is towards the center along the radius. That is also called as what, ma? Therefore, this is also known as, therefore, this is also known as radial acceleration. Clear? Therefore, this is also known as what, ma? Radial acceleration. So this radial acceleration is represented with the letter A, suffix C. That is nothing but centripetal acceleration. So simply you can say that centripetal acceleration is the acceleration towards the center of the circular motion. Are you clear? Therefore, simply we can say that centripetal acceleration is towards the center of the circular motion. Okay? Understood this point? Now, we are going to derive the expression for centripetal acceleration. Clear? So, I am going to derive the expression for centripetal acceleration. Now, if it is done, then I'll go for the next point. Yes. Now, I'm going to find out the expression for the centripetal acceleration. Clear? I'm going to find out the expression for centripetal acceleration. So for that, I'll use that figure. So the next concept is expression for centripetal acceleration. So expression for centripetal acceleration. So expression for centripetal acceleration. Yeah, fine. Now, I'm going to discuss about the expression for centripetal acceleration. Now, for example, for that, let us consider a body is moving in uniform circular motion. Now, I will draw the circular motion in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, the tangents will be like this. Now, at point P, I will consider this radius vector as, for example, I'll take this radius vector as, for example, R1 bar. Okay, actually uniform circular motion radius remains constant, R1 bar and is equal to R. Clear? So I will take this as, for example, R2 bar, but still I am taking like this. So R1 bar, R2 bar. Now this is the position vector of R1 bar. So position vector of R1 bar is in this direction. So position vector of R2 bar is in this direction. Therefore, if I draw the figure like this, so this is what R1 bar and this is what R2 bar. Now I will take this angle as delta theta. Now I will draw one line from here to here, that is taken as R1 bar minus R2 bar, that I will consider as delta R. Clear? Or else I will take it as, for example, delta R bar. So delta R bar is a vector. So what is the magnitude of delta R bar? Means delta R. Are you clear? So magnitude of delta R bar is what? Delta R. Okay. Now I hope you understood this point. Okay. Now I hope you understood this point. And we already know that always this radial vector is perpendicular to the tangential vector. Now remember, for a circle, always radius is perpendicular to the tangent. Now radius is always perpendicular to what? Tangent. Are you clear? For example, if I take this as radius vector, this radius vector is perpendicular to what? Tangent. I will take another point. For example, here also radius vector is perpendicular to the tangent. Are you clear? For example, if I extend this point here, now if you consider this angle as delta theta, then this angle will also be the delta theta. Okay, then that angle will also be what? Delta theta. Now, I will take these vectors v1 and v2. Now this vector v1 and v2, I will draw like this. I will draw like this. So this is v1 bar and v2 bar is in this direction. I will draw from here. This is v2 bar. Now from here to here, clear, from here to here, I will take it as v1 bar minus v2 bar, that is taken as delta v bar. Okay, nothing is there. This vectors is there, right? For example, here v1 bar. So v1 bar in this direction. So v1 bar is in this direction. I will take v2 bar. If I back extend like this, so this is v2 bar. So v2 bar is in this direction. Now I will join these two vectors. Now this is nothing but delta v bar, as we already discussed. Okay. Now this angle will also be how much? This angle will also be delta theta. That angle will also be how much? Delta theta. Are you clear? Okay. Now let us consider a body is moving in a uniform circular motion. Let r bar is the position vector at point P and r2 bar is the position vector at point Q, and v1 and v2 be the velocities at point 1 and point 2. Okay. Understood, ma? Yeah. I'll write the points. Let r1 bar and r2 bar be the radius vectors or position vectors. Clear? Radius vectors or position vectors of the body at point P and Q respectively. Points P and Q respectively. Now let v1 be the velocity at P. Now velocity at P, and v2 be the velocity at Q. Okay, so let v1 be the velocity at P and v2 be the velocity at Q. Now I'll tell you one point, just try to understand. For example, if you consider here v1, I'll take this point as, for example, along this direction I'll take it as A, along this direction I'll take it as B. Now PA vector is v1, QB vector is v2. Now remember, here body is moving with uniform speed. So speed of the body is constant, which means that magnitude of velocity is constant, whereas direction is changing. Now we already discussed that in uniform circular motion, magnitude of speed is constant, but the direction is changing. Therefore, still we have acceleration. Therefore, magnitude of velocity v1 and magnitude of velocity v2 are same, but the directions are different. Are you clear? Therefore, we can say that the magnitudes of velocities, the magnitudes of velocities v1 and v2 are same, clear, are same, but directions are different. Therefore, I will take magnitude of PA bar or vector PA. Now I will take magnitude of vector PA. So PA vector is what? V1. And what is QB vector? QB vector is V2. But the velocities of V1 and V2 are same. Magnitudes of velocities is same, but the directions is different. Therefore, PA bar is equal to QB bar. That is equal to, I will take that value as V1 is equal to V2, that is equal to V. My magnitudes are same. Are you clear? Therefore, if you consider the value, or if you consider this triangle, from this triangle, you can say that, clear, you can say that arc length delta V is equal to, arc length delta V is equal to V1 into delta theta, but V1 is equal to V. That is taken as delta theta into V. Clear? Therefore, from figure, no, therefore, from figure, you can say that, clear, from figure, you can say that delta V is equal to V into delta theta, where V1 or V2 you should write, but V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V. Why? Because means it is a uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, we have the centripetal acceleration. In uniform circular motion, magnitude of velocity. Magnitude of velocity means speed. So magnitude of velocity is constant, or magnitude of speed is what? Constant. So magnitude of velocity or magnitude of speed is constant means V1 is equal to V2 is equal to V. So magnitude of speed is what, ma? Constant, but direction is different. So magnitude of PA bar is equal to magnitude of PA QB bar is equal to V. That is taken as delta V is equal to V into delta theta. I will take it as equation number 1. Are you clear? So I will take it as what? Equation number 1. Now we know that acceleration A is equal to now I will take like this, for example, V, but we know that V is equal to R omega. But we know that V is equal to R omega. Now if you substitute V is equal to R omega in the equation number 1, in the equation number 1, we have delta V is equal to R omega into delta theta. Clear? R omega into delta theta. I will take it as equation number 2. Clear? I will take it as equation number 2. Now, I will divide equation number 2 with delta theta or delta t, that is time period. Clear? I'll divide this equation number 2 with time period. So why? Because in time period delta t, we thought that the point P moves from P to Q, or the body moves from P to Q. Now delta V by delta t, that is equal to, we can write it as R omega into delta theta by delta t. Clear? So R omega into delta theta by delta t. Now delta theta by delta t is taken as angular velocity omega. So angular velocity omega is equal to delta theta by delta t. Therefore you can say it as I R into omega into, this is omega, that is R omega square. Are you clear? So it is R omega square. Where delta V by delta T, I will take it as acceleration, instantaneous acceleration. That instantaneous acceleration is delta T tends to 0. Delta V by delta T, that is equal to dV by dt. So dV by dt is taken as what? Acceleration. Therefore, instantaneous acceleration A is equal to limit delta T tends to 0, delta V by delta T is equal to dV by dt. So for example, that I will consider as acceleration A, that acceleration I will consider as centripetal acceleration. So the expression for the centripetal acceleration is R into omega square. Clear? So the expression for the centripetal acceleration is what, ma? R into omega square. Okay. Now this can also be modified as, we know that V is equal to R omega, or else omega can be taken as V by R. Substitute this value here, then AC is equal to R into V square by R square. Now cancel R and R, then centripetal acceleration A is equal to V square by R. So this is also the expression for centripetal acceleration. Clear? So this is also the expression for what? Centripetal acceleration. Or this is also called as radial acceleration. Okay. For example, if a body is moving in circular motion, if a body is moving in circular motion, are you clear? So if a body is moving in circular motion, then we can say that always the tangent to the circular motion gives what? Velocity. So I will take the velocity in this direction, then centripetal acceleration is towards the center. Now, for example, I will consider the point here, then tangent is in this direction, then magnitude of velocity. I will take only magnitude of velocity. So magnitude of velocity is constant throughout the journey, whereas direction changes. Now for this also centripetal acceleration is towards the center. I will take it as AC. Now at this point I will draw the tangent will be in this direction. So again centripetal acceleration is towards the center. Therefore, if you take the centripetal acceleration at any point, clear, at any point, the centripetal acceleration is towards what? Center. Clear? So centripetal acceleration is always what, ma? Towards the center. You can take, if you take it as vector, so V1 bar, this is V2 bar, this is V3 bar, this is V4 bar, this is V5 bar, and so on. Whereas magnitude of V1 bar is equal to magnitude of V2 bar is equal to, and so on. Magnitudes remains constant. Why? Because the definition itself is like this. A body is moving with constant speed. Speed is nothing but magnitude of velocity. The magnitude of velocity is also called as speed. Okay. Why? Because velocity is taken as magnitude plus direction. Velocity is a vector. Therefore, velocity is taken as magnitude plus direction. Are you clear? So therefore, we can say that magnitude of velocity remains constant, whereas direction changes. Okay, so magnitude of velocity remains constant, whereas direction changes. So this is about the centripetal acceleration. Clear? Centripetal acceleration. Now, I'm going to discuss about the centripetal force. Clear? I'm going to discuss about the centripetal force. Now, what do you mean by centripetal force? Means the force which is always acting towards the center, that is called as centripetal force. Okay, so centripetal force. So the force which always acts towards the center, clear, towards the center, is called as centripetal force. Or this is also called as radial force. Clear? Now that centripetal force Fc can be taken as mass into acceleration, centripetal acceleration. Therefore, that can be taken as Fc is equal to mass into acceleration can be taken as r into omega square. So this is the expression for centripetal acceleration. Or centripetal acceleration Fc can be taken as mass into centripetal acceleration is what, ma? V square by r. So mv square by r or m r omega square. So this is the expression for centripetal force. So today I'll stop up to here. So tomorrow we'll discuss about the tangential acceleration and how the tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration will be related to each other. Okay. So see you students. Tomorrow we'll discuss about tangential acceleration and how this tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration will be there for a circular motion.